It started with a smirk on Saturday Night Live, but what followed was a firestorm. No one saw it coming, especially not Meghan's PR team. While the world was resharing old yacht photos, a handful of online investigators followed a different trail. A trail that led straight to the origin of her entire master plan. And today, we're following that trail together. Let's be precise about what happened. This wasn't just a throwaway line. On Weekend Update, the cultural centerpiece of SNL, Colin Jost looked into the camera. He delivered a perfectly crafted two-punch takedown. He said, apparently, one of the terms in a new US-UK trade deal is that we send Meghan Markle back, but only if she deletes her entire Instagram again.
President Trump also announced a new trade deal with the UK. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
No, I refuse. I'm sick of it.
The live audience erupted in laughter. They understood the brutal efficiency of the attack. The first punch, send Meghan Markle back, was simple. It played on the widespread narrative that she is deeply unpopular on both sides of the Atlantic. But it was the second punch that was truly devastating. But only if she deletes her entire Instagram again. That line wasn't just a joke, it was an accusation. It mocked her well-known history of meticulously curating and then completely erasing her public-facing life. It reminded millions of people of her lifestyle blog, The Tig, and her personal Instagram account. Both were scrubbed from existence right before she married into royalty. It painted her not as authentic, but as a calculated strategist, someone who erases her past when it no longer serves the current narrative. And that second punch is what turned a simple joke into a full-blown investigation. It planted a seed of doubt, a seed that went far beyond old vacation photos. It made people ask the most dangerous question of all. If she scrubbed her Instagram, what else has she scrubbed from her history? That question is why the yacht story wasn't the real story. It was just the smoke. The joke gave a new army of citizen investigators a map to the source of the fire. To understand this new controversy, we have to go back further than the yachts. We have to go back to Meghan's time as briefcase girl number 24 on the game show, Deal or No Deal. This is a well-documented part of her story. She herself has spoken about it, most famously on her Archetypes podcast. There, she complained about the experience. She said she felt objectified, forced to get spray tans and wear a padded bra. She claimed she felt like a bimbo. She said the job was about beauty, not brain.
I ended up quitting the show. I was so much more than what was being objectified on the stage. I didn't like feeling forced to be all looks and little substance. There were different stations for having your lashes put on or your extensions put in, or the padding in your bra. There was a very cookie-cutter idea of precisely what we should look like.
She presented herself as a victim of the system, a serious, aspiring actress forced to take a demeaning job to pay the bills. But what if that complaint wasn't a confession? What if it was a deflection? Critics now suggest that this story was a preemptive strike, designed to make people feel sorry for her, to frame that chapter of her life as something she was ashamed of, all while, allegedly, she was using that exact role as a key to unlock a very specific, very exclusive world. A world where beauty wasn't just admired, it was leveraged. This is where the story takes a sharp turn, from public record to dark allegation. A powerful rumor gaining traction in the deepest corners of the internet alleges that the role of suitcase girl wasn't limited to the TV studio. The theory claims that these women were a regular feature at exclusive, high-profile celebrity charity events, specifically celebrity golf tournaments. These weren't just any golf games. These were high-roller events where a foursome could cost tens of thousands of dollars, all for a good cause, but they were also, allegedly, one of the most effective networking environments on the planet. And the claims are getting specific. Names like the George Lopez Celebrity Golf Classic are being circulated, and similar charity events hosted by major figures. It's alleged that at these high-stakes tournaments, the role of the suitcase girls was to act as promotional models, hostesses, or even glamour caddies. Their job, critics claim, wasn't to carry golf clubs. It was to carry conversations, to add a layer of glamour, and interact with the high net worth donors, the A-list celebrities, and the powerful businessmen in attendance, all in a relaxed, informal setting. Think about it. Where else could an aspiring actress get hours of uninterrupted face-to-face time with CEOs, film producers, and financiers? Not in a formal audition, but on a sunny golf course where guards are down and deals are made. This is the heart of the new controversy. The part that critics claim is so much worse than the yacht photos. They argue that this wasn't just a side job for paying rent. Allegedly, it was a masterclass in strategic networking. It was, the theory goes, the training ground, the place where she didn't just meet powerful people, but learned to speak their language, to understand their world, and to make herself a memorable part of it. This theory, if true, reframes everything. It suggests a level of calculation that is chillingly strategic. The yacht parties look like spontaneous fun, compared to the alleged cold reality of a job. A job where your value is tied to your ability to charm power. It paints a picture not of a woman who got lucky, but of a woman who studied, trained, and rehearsed for her role on the world stage, long before she ever met a prince. The yachts weren't the start of the journey. They were the graduation ceremony. For a course she had allegedly been taking for years, she had mastered the playbook. And what's most unsettling? The pattern of silence, the same eerie quiet that surrounds the yacht photos. It is now descending on this new set of allegations. People who were once in Meghan's orbit during her deal or no deal days are suddenly hard to reach. Former briefcase girls have either gone slant or give vague non-committal answers when asked about offset events. It's reported that many have signed strict NDAs, legally binding them to silence. The digital footprint is being scrubbed in real time. Old blog posts from the mid-2000s, posts that once mentioned these charity events, they are suddenly returning 404 not found errors, tagged photos on forgotten MySpace pages, and early Facebook albums, they are vanishing. Friends from that era have either locked their accounts or deleted any association. It's the same alleged strategy of digital erasure, deployed with the same precision we saw after her engagement. This coordinated disappearance of evidence is what fuels the fire. It's not the allegation itself, but the reaction to it. That screams guilt. In the age of digital noise, silence is a confession. Every deleted photo, every unanswered question, every no comment from a former colleague is another log on the bonfire of her credibility. Which brings us back to the brand of Meghan Markle, the woman who champions transparency, who built a platform on the idea of speaking your truth. In her bombshell Oprah interview, she told the world, "I'm ready to talk." She and Harry launched Archewell with a promise of compassion in action. She has been quick to challenge stories she dislikes, launching multi-million-dollar lawsuits over minor inaccuracies in tabloid reports. But when her own past resurfaces, not through a malicious tabloid, but through the digging of the public she claims to champion, she resorts to the one thing she condemns in others: control, silence, erasure. The hypocrisy is staggering. Critics argue that if these stories were false, it would be simple to debunk them. A quick statement from her press team, a simple denial, an honest sit-down. A sit-down to explain what's real and what's a lie. Yes, I worked those events as a promotional model, and I'm not ashamed of it. That simple sentence would end the speculation, but that never comes. Instead, we get polished photo ops and carefully curated speeches about empowerment, while a digital cleanup crew allegedly works in the shadows, works to bury the inconvenient truths, and that's the part people can't forgive. It's not that she had a past. Everyone has a past. It's the relentless, desperate attempt to pretend she didn't. This isn't just about a few photos or an old job anymore. It's about the slow, painful erosion of a brand built on a foundation of perceived authenticity. Once the audience starts to believe there's a mask, they start questioning everything that came before it. The speeches on female empowerment feel hollow. If they came from someone who allegedly used a very different, more traditional kind of female currency to get ahead, the love story feels less like a fairy tale and more like the final chapter of a meticulously executed business plan. Colin Jost didn't just tell a joke, he pulled a thread. And in doing so, he may have unraveled the entire tapestry. The tapestry that Meghan Markle spent 2 decades weaving, the story she tried so hard to bury, is now looking more and more like a strategy that finally ran out of runway. It wasn't supposed to be her story. Meghan was supposed to be the symbol of change, resilience, and progress. But now she's becoming a case study in how image control can backfire spectacularly. Not because she had a past, everyone does, but because she keeps pretending she didn't. And in the court of public opinion, that's the one thing people won't forgive. The real damage from that SNL joke wasn't that it brought up old photos, it was that it made people look for the playbook. And now that they believe they found it, the final question isn't whether the suitcase girl story is true. The question people are asking now is, if this part of the story was a calculated lie, what else might be?